What's up with it? What's up with it? What's up with it? Yeah. Man, I'm right back in the building today, man. We got an awesome show lined up for you guys today. I know you guys see the thumbnail, right? Y'all see the thumbnail? And I'm gonna need my congregation in the building with me today. We finna rock out how we rock out, man. We finna talk about my boy YFN LUCCI. 650 Luch, 650 Luch, 650 Luch. Yeah. I think my boy's coming home, man. We finna break down his whole sentencing hearing and everything like that, man. So I need you guys to stick around with me today. Hey, we finna have an awesome show. We finna rock out how we rock out. You know how we get down with it. You know. So y'all stick around with me. This finna great show, man. We finna talk about YFN LUCCI. We finna review this whole sentence. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Yeah. Let them horns go. Let them horns go. Let them bombs go. Let them bombs go. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. Yeah. It's your boy, Mr. Showout, and I'm right back in the building, you guys. This is Common Sense Not Coming Live. This is a show where we break down everything trending. We break down relationships. We talk about everything on this channel, right? Right? And this is my bag up channel, right? This is my bag up channel. My main channel is called the Sober Gang Experience. That's where I talk about addiction and I interview people from all around the world. And they come on my show on the Sober Gang Experience to try to inspire and battle people in addiction, right? Right? Because everybody got those demons, right? And that the demon I was battling, I was addicted to alcohol, right? Alcoholism, right? That was my demon, right? And I battled that demon and I fought that demon, right? And I beat that demon, right? So that is why I created that channel, the Sober Gang Experience, so I can inspire and motivate others that they can beat this addiction, right? So I would love for you guys at the end of this, I will have the link to the Sober Gang Experience so you guys can go sub up to that as well. But today, man, we finna rock out how we rock out, right? We got my boy YFN LUCCI. I think my boy's coming home, man, after serving 3 years behind bars on a federal murder case, man. They tried to have the boy was kind of pinned up for a little minute, man. His things wasn't looking good for Luch at all, right? Wasn't nothing really looking good for Luch, man. But he stayed behind bars. He stayed solid. A lot of people said he stayed solid, man. But I'm an equal opportunist in smoke giving. So I gotta give some smoke to him too, man. Because there's a lot of people out there, man, especially a person in YFN LUCCI situation, right? Luch, and I know you. If you do see this, Luch, listen to me. You got a lot of opportunities, man, to get yourself out the hood, to do things better, to support your family, to support kids, and have generational wealth. But you throwing it away by the decisions that you be making, man. That you gotta hold yourself accountable for that. And that's what we do over here on my show. Yeah. We hold everybody accountable. So you gotta hold yourself accountable, YFN LUCCI, man. And I'm glad that things are coming out better for you right now because everything was pinned up against you. It wasn't really looking good for you, man. But we gonna break it down. Congratulations that you coming home, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm really one of your biggest fans, man. Yeah. If this is your first time to the channel right now, well, this is the time for you guys to take out of your busy day just to hit that subscribe button right now. Make sure you hit that like button. Get this video a like, right? Right? Because we finna rock out how we rock out. We finna enjoy this day. This finna be an awesome day. We finna be an awesome day. So let's this things on the road, man. Let's break down this video, you guys. Let's break down the video, you guys. Let's see what we got going over here.
Okay. All right. You all also have plea sheets. We do. All right.
And before we get right into the meat and the guts of this sentencing, right? Rapper, let me break down a little bit of what is going on, you guys. If you guys just tuned in, this is what's going on. This is YFN Lucci, right? He's a well-known rapper. He got caught up in a situation on a felony murder case, right? And he has been behind bars for the past 3 years, right? And you know, a lot of things was going on with that situation. It wasn't looking good for Luch, man. In my personal opinion, Luch, I thought you wasn't never coming home, brother. I thought things was up the hill with you, man. I thought they were trying to hide you, man. It wasn't looking good for you, especially the case and situation. Allegedly they got video footage of, you know, some of the things that went on in the while it was happening. You know, video footage of the Maybach he was driving, and allegedly he was driving, things of that nature. So, let me break it down. YFN Lucci pled guilty on Tuesday to one count of gang-related charges. Bennett was originally facing numerous charges, including felony murder. He will be facing 20-year sentence with 10 years to serve and is eligible for parole in 3.5 due to the 3 years he had already spent behind bars. So Luch, it looks like with the 20 they gave him, right? With the 20 they gave him, and I guess he will probably have to serve 10 of that, right? Right. And with the 3, he will be eligible for parole after 3, right? But he had already served 3 years behind bars. So I guess he is eligible for parole right now, which means, yeah. YFN Lucci could be coming home, you guys. That's a great deal. That is a big deal. YFN Lucci could be coming home and spending some time with his family. A lot of that pressure, a lot of that, he can relax a little bit now because it wasn't looking good for him. And the lawyer he had, man, really is a well-known lawyer in Atlanta, right? This lawyer is real known, man. I think he offset lawyer. He got offset off of a lot of charges, and a lot of these rappers go to this lawyer when they get jammed up and when they just need somebody. They need an attorney, right? So this one of the well-known lawyers out there in Atlanta that really works with a lot of these rappers. So this lawyer really did some work behind the scenes, right, to help Lucci out on these deals, man, because they had a lot of things against Lucci, man, a whole bunch of charges, you guys. So that's what's going on right now. They was trying to give him 20. He was gonna do at least 10. Eligible for parole after 3. He done served. He did 3 years in jail already on that. So I guess they're gonna try to get him parole or parole right now, man, so he can come home. But that is what's going on. That's the breakdown. Let's go.
Yes, if you could. Yeah. Yes, that'd be great. Thank you, Mr. Banks. Let me take a look at those. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now I will be reading some of the comments that people had made, you know, during this trial and everything like that. I will be reading out some of these comments as well. But a lot of the comments in this video was stating that.
So I have the indictment and the plea sheets. Is there anything we need to take up before we begin the colloquy? Is there any particular?
A lot of people was commenting in the comment box. You know, they were saying that it's a good thing that Lucci is coming home, right? It's a very good thing that Lucci is coming home, right? Y'all don't hear me. But under the circumstances that he have to do, you know, they saying that it's kind of they trying to box him in, right? He can't be around none of his friends, none of these guns. He can't leave the state. He can't be around felons. You know, that's some of the normal stuff. He can't have guns in his videos. None of that nature. Nothing. So if he violate even one of those terms, he got to go serve out that full 10. He got to go serve out that full 10. So it's up to Lucci. It's up to you, bro. It's up to you right now, man. The ball is in your court, man. How you want to play it is how you go play it, bro. But the ball is in your court, man. I mean, that lawyer got you out. Now, if you love your freedom, I think you do, because I know don't nobody want to be locked up behind them bars like that, man. I'm telling you guys, behind them bars, I have been locked up before. And behind them bars, that's a whole nother world, man. That's a whole nother world in itself, right? Right. So Lucci, I mean, even with everything stacked against you, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're gonna have to stay solid again. You stayed solid them 3 years locked up, right? Right, right. Now I'm gonna need my congregation. If y'all rocking out with me right now, man, make sure you get this video a like. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. Make sure you get this video a like. Now, Lucci, you stayed solid the 3 years you was in there. You gotta stay solid again when you get out, bro. Because if you violate even one of those terms, brother, they got a place for you, and you know where that place is, right? Right. And we don't want to see you like that. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
For preference in order. State.
Judge, we prefer, since we have a matter that's a bit outstanding on Defendant Stanley, we'd like to go ahead and take Mr. Bennett's first.
All right. All right. And you all can stay, remain in place there. Just use the microphone. All right. All right. So we're ready to begin.
Do you want him to stand, Your Honor?
Everybody can remain seated. Okay. And if the lawyers like to use the podium, that's fine, but it's preferable that you can easily remain seated and accomplish this.
And Your Honor, if I may, this kind of set the stage because this really began yesterday. And Your Honor has kindly given us the permission to come in here today and address it this morning. But again, to contextualize it with the court's permission, we understand that we are in the third week of jury selection. However, the record should reflect that the court has, from very early on, been encouraging the parties to continue having face-to-face meetings on various issues concerning outstanding motions.
And the lawyer name in this case is Drew Finley, you guys. Drew Finley. He's a well-known Atlanta rapper, man. He has helped out a lot of these rappers, man. Some of these well-known rappers, right? Right. Get out or get a better deal, right? So he's very well known, and man, he, like a lot of people in the comments say, this man did what he's supposed to do. That's what lawyers are supposed to do. YFN LUCCI, from what we was looking at, was facing a lot of time, and it wasn't looking good for Lucci. It wasn't looking good for Lucci. But I'm so glad, But we got to look at both sides, though. Like I said, I'm an equal opportunist smoke giver. Yeah, damn right. Now, we also got to pay homage to the victim, man, as well. The person, the people that died in this situation. If I'm not mistaken, and y'all can correct me, because we call this, right, common sense not coming live, right? Right? And I'm gonna need all my brainiacs in the building, man. Them are my people, my brainiacs, right? We use our common sense over here. That's why we call this show Common Sense Not Coming Live, right? So we don't know every goddamn thing. I ain't saying I know everything, but we can learn together. That's what I love about this show. So you guys can help me out in the comment box below, right? Let me know something that I do not know. Or if I say something wrong and it is not right, don't just come for me. You know what I mean? We can learn this shit together, man. Let's rock out together, man. Let's learn this shit together. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. But if I'm not mistaken, I think one of YFN LUCCI's homeboys, right, that was with him in the Maybach truck was killed Also, another person was killed. I guess the people that they ops, right? Right? So we got to pay homage to the dead, man. You know what I mean? It's a bad situation for both parties, for all family. I'm not finna sit up here and try to glorify YFN LUCCI, right? Right? Because I'm not finna glorify this man if this man is out here um allegedly doing what he was charged for, right? Right? We ain't glorifying that shit over here. And that is not what I'm finna do, right? Right? But one thing about it, if he did go to jail, he set back, he set his time out right. He didn't snitch. They tried to get him to flip on the YSL case, right? YFN LUCCI lawyer, and LUCCI said they ain't want no parts of that, right? They tried to get him a deal if he wanted to flip on Slime, right? On Young Thug and them, right? But YFN LUCCI said he ain't want no parts of that. So YFN LUCCI did exactly what he was supposed to do, man. He was arrested. He spent 3 years in prison, right? And now it looks like he's coming home. But like I said, I wanted to pay homage to the victims, to the dead, because in this case, period, you know what I mean? It could have been avoided. Everybody got to be held accountable for the things of their actions, right? This shit could have been avoided, man. We got too many of our black people, you know what I mean? And white people. Well, we just got too many of these murders, man. Too many young people being locked up. Too many people going away for just dumbass crimes, man, for nothing. You got the world, bro. You got the money. You got the connects. You got the outlets. You got the voice. But you still out there making these dumbass decisions, Luch. Allegedly. We got to get better at this shit, man. What the fuck is we doing out here, guys? Right? We got to get better at this. But like I said, I want to pay homage to the victims, man, to their families, right? Because they're still grieving on this. It might be looking good on YFN LUCCI's side, but it's not looking good on the family parts of the victims, right? They still got to relive this shit, right? Let's continue.
Result of that, and as a result of that, in talking through those issues, there's been a free exchange and a constant exchange of thoughts about a lot of the issues that we can anticipate that would come up through the course of the trial. As a result of that, and the free exchange of, for example, although we don't have the burden, we were forthcoming on what our evidence would be, what our experts would say. As a result of that, and the encouragement of the court to continue those discussions, we now come before you with this negotiated resolution. I just felt it was important to contextualize, given the unusualness of what's happening.
And as I said to you yesterday, Mr. Finley, I appreciate the context, and I think it helps to establish a clear record. And I appreciate the offer and the context you've given.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, we're ready to swear in the defendant at this time.
Yes, sir.
We get a Deputy Green.
I do. Rayshawn Bennett, RAYSHAWNBENNETT.
All right. At this time, Mr. Bennett, Assistant District Attorney Christian has questions for you. Please speak loudly and clearly into the microphone in response to her questions. Ms. Christian, the witness is with you.
Thank you, Judge. Are you at this time under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or any medicine?
No, ma'am.
Is there any medication that you normally take that you haven't been given today?
No, ma'am.
How old are you?
32.
How far did you go in school?
I got my GED.
Now, YFN LUCCI is 32 years old, right? Right. So if he would have did all that time, man, it would have been over for him. It would have been over for him, right? Right. But we got to be held accountable for the things that we do. We got to be held accountable for the things that we do. All this shit could have been avoided, right? Right. We as people, as young black men, as older black men, we got to do better. Luch, this is your second opportunity, right? It don't fall into hands of a lot of people like this, right? Right. And if I was you, Luch, even if you know deep down in your heart that you did not do any of these things that you allegedly was charged with, still give back to the victim's family, man. You know, that's real shit.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you're charged with the following offenses under indictment 23 SC 188921? Count 1, violation of the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organization Act, which carries a minimum sentence of 5 years, maximum of 20 years. Count 68, violation of the Street Gang Act, which carries a minimum 5 years, maximum 20 years. Count 69, violation of the Street Gang.
Woo-wee. I'm telling you guys, they were throwing the book at him. Real shit. They were throwing a book at Luch, man. It was not looking good for Lucci at all, man. And I'm telling y'all, they were trying to throw the book at this boy. They was trying to throw the book at this boy. But under the circumstances, and you got to look at the charges he was facing, racketeering charges under the RICO, felony murder. I mean, man,
Gang Act. That's minimum 5 years, maximum 20 years. Count 72, violation of the Street Gang Act. Minimum 5 years, maximum 20 years. Count 73, violation of the Street Gang Act. Minimum 5 years, maximum 20 years. Count 76, violation of the Street Gang Act. Minimum 5 years, maximum 20 years. Count 77, felony murder. That's minimum life, maximum life without the possibility of parole. Count 78, aggravated assault. That's minimum 1 year, maximum 20 years in custody. Count 78, aggravated assault. That's minimum 1 year, maximum 20 year. Count 80, aggravated assault, minimum 1 year, maximum 20 years. Count 81, aggravated assault. The minimum is 1 year, maximum 20 years.
and you can see him right there smiling, right? Right, Lucci know he done got some good news, man. His lawyer has did exactly what he was supposed to do, right? Right. His lawyer did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to defend his client and get his client to come home. And that is exactly what his lawyer did, right? His lawyer did exactly that. So Lucci he got a damn good lawyer. His lawyer did what he was supposed to do. But I'm just saying, Lucci, man, this is your second chance, bro. Don't let this one go away, man. Man, I bump your music all the damn time, bro. I'm a big fan of you, man. This video right here is not any kind of reaction video where I'm coming down on you, bro. Because I actually, genuinely, I am happy for you to come home, man. But you know what I mean. If you did that shit, man, you got to be held accountable, and you should be locked up. You take allegedly, they try to say that you took a person's life. And if you did that, you got to be held accountable, right? I'm an equal opportunist smoke giver. And you got to get that smoke too, especially if you did that shit. So it is what it is. But I'm glad you coming home so you can drop some more of that fire shit. 650 loot, 650 loot, 650 loot. Y'all don't hear me. Let's continue.
Count 82, aggravated assault. The minimum is 1 year, maximum 20 years. Count 83, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony. That's 5 years consecutive. The minimum is life with the possibility of parole, followed by 5 years consecutive. And the maximum you're facing under these charges in the indictment would have been life without the possibility of parole, plus 220 years, followed by 5 years consecutive. Do you understand that that's what you were initially charged with in the indictment?
Yes.
Do you understand that the state has agreed to no pros counts 1, 68, 72, 73, 60, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83.
Yes.
So, Ms. Christian, the only charge.
If y'all can see, I think I passed the part. His lawyer reached over there and told him that he ain't got to say he ain't got to keep saying yes, ma'am. If y'all can see, he was saying yes, ma'am on everything that she read out. He was like, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And his lawyer looked at him, and I guess he showed him and told him, you ain't got to say ma'am on everything. But shit, I'm like, Lucci, shit, you got me messed up. If I was in that situation, I'm yes, ma'am, in everything. Y'all don't hear me. I'm yes, ma'am, and the judge, even if he a man, I'm still saying yes, ma'am. Y'all don't hear me. I'm yes, ma'am, and everybody in this motherfucker. This shit, my life is on the line, and I can possibly see some freedom. Shit, everybody get a yes, ma'am. You get a yes, ma'am. You get a yes, ma'am. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all do not hear me. But yeah, that's what his lawyer said, man. His lawyer reached out to him and told him, stop saying yes, ma'am. But I'm like, Lucci, shit. Lucci is really feeling good right now, so he could probably see some little daylight. So he yes, ma'am, and everybody. Like I said, I'm yes, ma'am, and the judge too. Even though he a man, he asked me a question. Yes, ma'am. Well, I'm a man, right? Yes, ma'am. Got me fucked up. What they wrong with him? They got me fucked. This is Mr. Show Out TV. Make sure y'all give this video a thumbs up, man. Let's continue to rock out how we rock out. Let's continue to go through this.
Charge under this recommendation is count 69. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Excuse me.
Have you reviewed this charge with your attorney and been advised of the minimum and maximum for the charge the one charge that you're pleading to?
Yes.
And do you understand that you have the right to either plead guilty or not guilty to this charge? And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes.
Boy, if I were you, Luch, I'd be yes, ma'am. They got me fucked up. Y'all trying to give me life. The fuck? I'm yes, ma'am, and everything in there. I know his lawyer nudged him. His lawyer nudged him. I want to go back to the part where he nudged him, but his lawyer did nudge him on the shoulder and told him that he do not have to say yes, ma'am to everything. I'm like, Lucci, man, shit. God damn it. I this is my time to see some daylight, to get back with my family, to go clap some women cheeks. Yeah. Lucci. You can get back up with Reggie, Lil Wayne daughter. You know she been waiting on your ass to get out. God damn, my boy Luch. But yeah, man, so I know he kind of happy. He yes, ma'am, and everything.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorneys, Mr. Finland and Mr. Banks, about all the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges, including any potential defenses?
Yes.
Do you need more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
Are you satisfied with their services?
Yes.
Do you waive a formal reading of the indictment, Mr. Finland?
Yes,
Do you waive any or all defects in the indictment?
yes,
Do you understand that this is a negotiated plea, which means the state will recommend a sentence of, under count 69, the recommended sentence is 20, serve 10, balance probated, and the special conditions of probationers are no street gang activity, no contact with any known street gang members or associates, no contact with the co-defendants, Reginald Carter, Artez Carter, Justin Ushery, DeMonte Thomas, Tadrekus Glass, Rayvon Boyd, Leroy Pitts, Rondavius Hawkins, and Derek Adams. No guns or replica guns, no gang affiliation or conduct associated with gangs on social media. You must be gainfully employed and no further violations of the law. Do you understand that those are the conditions?
Yes.
And Ms. Christian, I just wanted to make sure that the record is clear. You said this was a negotiated plea. This is a negotiated recommendation, but it's officially and formally a blind plea. I want to make sure the record is clear.
Yes, Judge.
So you hear it for yourself, right? She just read out everything that he have to do. He can't be associated with none of his friends, no gang affiliated, no guns. He can't lead a state. man, he cannot do nothing. But that's what happens, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? When you plead out and you want to come home, this what they hang over your head. They hang this over your head for you to hang your damn self too, right? So if Lucci don't play his cards right, if Lucci don't go out here and do the things that he's supposed to do, if you want to go out there and crash out Lucci, they got a place for you. And you know it. You just spent 3 years in that motherfucker. Y'all don't hear me. They got a place for your ass, man. So Lucci go really, you gonna have to come out here, man, and be a model citizen. You got to come out here and be a model citizen, man. You can't be out here moving reckless. You cannot associate yourself with any organized gang, no gang affiliates, no guns, no weapons, no prop guns, no guns in your videos, no, man, nothing, bro. Nothing. 'Cause they giving you an opportunity of a lifetime, right? Right? And if you squander this, that's all on you, man. That's all. I don't think I can be like it just. Hey, you squander this, that's all on you, bro. You know what I mean? It is what it is on that one, man. So, but let's just read that back real quick. Yeah. Let's read that.
Glass, Rayvon Boyd, Leroy Pitt. Do you understand that this is a negotiated plea, which means the state will recommend a sentence of under count 69. The recommended sentence is 20, serve 10, balance probated, and the special conditions of probationers are no street gang activity, no contact with any known street gang members or associates, no contact with the co-defendants, Reginald Carter, Artez Carter, Justin Ushery, DeMonte Thomas, Tadrikus Glass, Rayvon Boyd, Leroy Pitts, Rondavius Hawkins, and Derek Adams. No guns or replica guns, no gang affiliation or conduct associated with gangs on social media. You must be gainfully employed and no further violation.
No gang affiliation with people on social media. Woo! That's tough right there, bro. Man, look, Luch, if I was anybody on your team, we basically working. We in the studio, we dropping music, we getting back to our family, you know what I mean? Spending time, as much time with our family. We doing the right things, right? We doing the right things. Music, staying off of the social media. I would stay off of social media. I wouldn't even have a phone. If I would have a phone, but I only contact family and lawyers and people that I'm trying to do business with. You know what I mean? The label and things of that nature, and the CEOs over there. I would not be messed up and be fucking with social media, Instagram, none of that. None of that, man. You can't do none of that, bro. And these ain't no bad stipulations if you ask me. If you ask me, these are not bad stipulations. I mean, you need this. Look at what kind of charges you up or under. They looking at you like you a damn, you done some shit. These charges, this ain't no misdemeanors, bro. So I think these charges actually fit the crime that you are allegedly charged with, right? Right. So I think, man, them just giving you the time, to giving you the opportunity to see daylight. I don't think these stipulations too harsh. I was seeing in a lot of comments that they were saying that these stipulations are harsh, but I do not think so. I think they fairly right.
Of the law. Do you understand that those are the conditions?
Yes.
And Ms. Christian, I just wanted to make sure that the record is clear. You said this is a negotiated plea. This is a negotiated recommendation, but it's officially and formally a blind plea. I want to make sure the record is clear.
Yes, Judge. Okay. Do you understand that those are the statutory conditions of your
Yes.
session? Do you also understand that you are to have no violations of state or federal laws while serving out any portion of your sentence, to include any period of incarceration, to comply with all the rules maintained by county jail where you're housed prior to being transported to any facility within the Department of Corrections where you're designated to serve out your sentence. Comply with all the rules maintained by any facility within the Department of Corrections where you are designated to serve out the remaining sentence. You waive a right to appeal any and all terms and conditions of this plea agreement and the sentence imposed, as well as any right possessed in connection with OCGA 244410. And if you violate any of the special conditions, that the state is free to revoke the sentence and recommend any penalty allowable under the law, including that you be sentenced to the maximum for the charge in which you plead guilty.
Yes.
Do you understand that in exchange for this plea, the state has agreed to write a letter to the Board of Pardons and Parole stating that the state would not object to the defendant being released from the Department of Carcerations the first time you become eligible, or after 1/3 of the sentence has been served, whichever comes first. And you must comply with all lawful authorities of law enforcement while in custody and have no further incidents from the date of this plea in any penal institution.
Yes.
And the state is recommending you get credit for time served at the time that you voluntarily surrendered yourself into the Fulton County Jail on January 13th, 2021.
So that's where you have it. You know, he did time served. He getting granted time served. He did 3 years already on top of that 10, which allowed him to get probation, a paroled out after serving 3.5 years, which he have served 3 already. So it's not if he would get out, it's when. Because he will be getting out real soon for serving those 3 years already, them 3.5 years already. So it's not if, it's when.
To present to include any time spent on house arrest as required by law.
Yes.
You understand that that is the recommendation that the state is making to the court?
Yes.
Do you understand that the judge does not have to accept this recommendation and can sentence you to the maximum?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're currently on probation,
Man, go on ahead and go on say yes, ma'am again. God damn. I don't want to hear him say yes, ma'am again. Everybody be saying that damn yes, ma'am. Y'all gotta be messed up, man. Everybody be saying that yes, ma'am, right? They got what's my boy name? The one they said Reddit. Reddit on Young Thug, man. Gunna, but yes, ma'am, and they ass to death, right? Gunna with it. Hey, Gunna with yes, ma'am, and they ass to death too, boy. I'm telling you. When we get behind that stand, man, and them judges, and we got that book thrown at our ass, y'all don't hear me. When we had that book being thrown at our ass, man, I'm telling you, all our proper grammar come out. You know what I mean? It's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, excuse me when you step over somebody's feet. You holding doors open and everything, goddamn thing, boy. I'm telling you. You trying to be the model citizen then. You weren't being model when your ass was in that Maybach, were you? You don't hear me, Luch. Stay your ass out that damn Maybach. Doing that bullshit. I want to hear some more 650 Luch music. God damn it. You out here bullshitting this shit, man. Allegedly. Now let's keep going.
probation may be revoked based on you entering a guilty plea.
Yes.
Do you understand that if you are placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any government unit or special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation of the balance of your sentence?
Yes.
Do you understand that you're not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, a guilty plea conviction will affect your immigration status and will result in deportation, just like a conviction at trial would? And this is true regardless of any advice your attorneys has given you.
Yes.
Do you understand that there may be other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction for trial? For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, your right to hold public office, your right to serve on a jury, your right to obtain a passport, your right to receive.
Ooh, that passport, go hurt them too. You can't go overseas. You can't go get that overseas money. You know what I mean? You can't go get that. So they're gonna be hurting his bag too, y'all. It's these stipulations, man, are for him to come home, but they will be hindering his money. You know, it will stop him from making money. He gonna be able to still get the money in the states. I don't know how long with will they be having him not being able to leave the state that he is in currently. Um, but the streaming, he will be able to, do the streaming platforms. You know what I mean? He will be able to stream his music and make his money in other ways. So um, yeah, man. It's good and bad that come with these stipulations, right? But the best part about it is that he coming home. I bet you he will prefer this any day. You know what I mean?
Possess or transport a firearm or your ability to obtain employment.
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, if you receive, possess, or use or transport a firearm, you'll be guilty of a felony which carries a sentence from 1 to 15 years in prison?
You can repeat that?
Yes. Do you understand that if you plead guilty to a felony and you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm?
Use. You hear what they say? Use, receive, transport a firearm. He said, you hear what he said? Will you repeat that? Can you repeat that? Shit. He heard that part. He want to hear that again. Let me hear it again.
Other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction for trial. For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, your right to hold public office, your right to serve on a jury, your right to obtain a passport, your right to receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or your ability to obtain employment.
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, if you receive, possess, or use or transport a firearm, you'll be guilty of a felony which carries a sentence from 1 to 15 years in prison?
You can repeat that?
Yes. Do you understand that if you plead guilty to a felony and you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm, you will be guilty of a felony which carries a sentence of from 1 to 5 years in prison?
Yes.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses by entering a guilty plea?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you went to trial, you would have the right to a trial by jury, the right to...
But like I said, with these stipulations, man, these stipulations ain't harsh at all. Y'all got to think about the charges that he was charged with. You know what I mean? These ain't just no petty ass crimes that he was charged with, right? Right. And the best thing that he had got going is that his lawyer was able to make him plea down for him to come home, right? Because if he would have tried to fight this on trial, man, Lucci would have did every bit. He would have damn near did life, man. And he knew that. They tried to get him to flip on the YSL. They tried to get him to flip on slime. Right? Right? And he did not do it. One thing about YFN LUCCI is he stood solid. And I commend him on that, man, because with things going on, man, a lot of people, man, I'm telling you right now, people don't give a damn about snitching. They'll snitch on their mama to get out of jail. Y'all don't hear me. People ain't caring about that snitching in that code no more. A lot of people don't. In these day of time, man, people will do anything to get back out and get back on Instagram or get back to doing whatever the fuck they was doing at first, right? Right? You got look at Tekashi 6ix9ine. Everybody want to say Gunna. You know what I mean? But these people, man, they did what they did, man. You know, it's still a snitching code when you locked up. You got to play by their rules when you behind them bars, man. You know what I mean? But Lucci, he stood solid. He did not snitch. He did not fold. He did 3 years solid, strong. You know, didn't complain. You ain't hear him in there crying about a bad environment. As some people do when they get locked up, Kodak Black. Y'all don't hear me. But he wasn't complaining about that, right? You really didn't hear too much about him in there. He just did what he had to do. He let his lawyer do his work for him. And it all paid out, man, you know. So, yeah.
see, hear, and confront witnesses called to testify against you. The right to testify yourself or remain silent and not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up the following rights? The right to trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to confront witnesses against you, the right to assistance of counsel hired by you, or for court-appointed counsel if you couldn't afford counsel at the trial of your case, the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to testify on your own behalf and present other evidence, the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence, the right to have the charges against you proven beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to appeal if convicted after trial.
Yes.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
How do you plead to count?
You. When she said, "Cause you are really guilty," he was like, "Hold on, now, God damn it, man. Hey, what I supposed to say on this one?" He was like, "What I supposed to say on this one?" You know what I mean? He was like, "Hold on, man. Shit, what I supposed to say?" He was like, "What I was supposed to say on this one?" You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, Luke's like, "Hold on, man. Shit, what I supposed to say?"
See, hear, and confront witnesses called to testify against you. The right to testify yourself or remain silent and not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you're giving up the following rights? The right to trial by jury, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself, the right to confront witnesses against you, the right to assistance of counsel hired by you, or for court-appointed counsel if you couldn't afford counsel at the trial of your case, the right to the presumption of innocence, the right to testify on your own behalf and present other evidence, the right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence, the right to have the charges against you proven beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to appeal if convicted after trial.
Yes.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or promised you anything to get you to enter this guilty plea?
No.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you are in fact guilty?
Hey, he was saying yeah and no and everything, but like I said, I just played that back when she said because you know you are guilty. He was like, "Hey, what I supposed to say?" You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. He was like, "Man, hold on, what I supposed to say on that one?" I didn't know. You like, yeah, you straight. You know what I mean?
Yes.
How do you plead to count 69 in indictment 23 SC 188921?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with full knowledge of the charge against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have a limited right to appeal this guilty plea conviction?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have 4 years from today to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of your plea?
Yes.
Your Honor, had this case gone to trial, the state would have shown that on December 10th, 2020, this defendant, Mr. Bennett, was gifted a 2021 Mercedes-Benz Maybach by his record label. The defendant drove that vehicle and picked up his co-defendants, Rayvon Boyd, Leroy Pitts, and the decedent, James Adams. Boyd, Pitts, and Adams traveled up from Miami, but were visiting the defendant, Mr. Bennett, in Atlanta. The defendant then drove around the city of Atlanta in that vehicle. Although Bennett himself did not personally possess a firearm, he was aware that there were firearms in the vehicle, to include 2 assault rifles. At some point, defendant Bennett drove to the area of Dimmick and People Street, located in Fulton County. While traveling down Dimmick Street, after passing several individuals who were standing on the street, this defendant stopped his vehicle. The individuals on the street and the individuals in the inside of his vehicle began shooting at each other. This shooting is captured on surveillance video, and the video reflects that after defendant Bennett stopped his vehicle, co-defendants Boyd and the decedent Adams opened the door to the car and began firing assault rifles at Kevin Wright, Nathan Bedford, and others that were on the street at the time. The video shows Nathan Bedford and Kevin Wright and others shooting back at the vehicle. During the exchange of gunfire, the decedent James Adams sustained a gunshot wound to his torso that caused his death. After shots were fired, defendant Bennett drove off in the Maybach, which then turned onto People Street. The individuals in the vehicle attempted to pull decedent Adams' body back into the vehicle, but were unsuccessful. As a result, they left his body on People Street and left the scene. After leaving the scene, he drove the vehicle to his father's house to conceal the vehicle following the shooting. The facts and evidence would further establish that defendant Bennett is an associate of the Bloods, a criminal street gang operating here in Atlanta and elsewhere. Defendant Bennett demonstrated his association.
Now, we finna take this back a little bit, right? We're finna take this back. So basically, she breaking down, right? Everything that they had lined up against them. Everything that they think happened. How they dumped the boy body off and just drove off. You know what I mean? Some real sick ass shit, man. You know? Some real fucked up shit happened that night. Do we know what really happened? Will we ever get the damn truth? I don't know. But some shit fucked up. Some shit popped off and some real fucked up shit happened, right? Right. Let's just play a little bit back, y'all. I want to let y'all get the full detail of what happened, right?
After defendant Bennett stopped his vehicle, co-defendant Adams, Boyd, Pitts, and Adams traveled up from Miami, but years from today to file a habeas corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of your plea.
Yes.
Your Honor, had this case gone to trial, the state would have shown that on December 10th, 2020, this defendant, Mr. Bennett, was gifted a 2021 Mercedes-Benz Maybach by his record label. The defendant drove that vehicle and picked up his co-defendants, Rayvon Boyd, Leroy Pitts, and the decedent, James Adams. Boyd, Pitts, and Adams traveled up from Miami, but were visiting the defendant, Mr. Bennett, in Atlanta. The defendant then drove around the city of Atlanta in that vehicle. Although Bennett himself did not personally possess a firearm, he was aware that there were firearms in the vehicle, to include 2 assault rifles. At some point, defendant Bennett drove to the area of Dimmick and People Street, located in Fulton County. While traveling down Dimmick Street,
So basically, they saying YFN LUCCI was the driver, right? He was the driver in the Maybach. That's the thing.
Passing several individuals who were standing on the street, this defendant stopped his vehicle. The individuals on the street and the individuals in the inside of his vehicle began shooting at each other. This shooting is captured on surveillance video.
They had it on surveillance video, bro. I still don't know how the fuck Lucci got up out of this. I still don't know. You had God on your side, Lucci. You had God on your side, man. I still don't know how the hell you got up out of this. Even with their lawyer. With the evidence they have against you, man. And you stayed solid. You didn't fold, you didn't snitch. I applaud you, man. Hey, let's get him. Let's cheer this man on. Hey, we applaud you, bro. Hey, man, you need it, man. Let me drop a bomb for you, man. Let me drop a clues bomb for my boy, who stayed solid, didn't fold. He stayed solid and didn't fold, man, because a lot of people under that pressure, Lucci, man, would have probably, done something to their own self behind bars, if you understand what I'm trying to say. That would have drove a lot of the normal people crazy, man, They had a lot of things stacked up against you, Lucci, man. You feel me? And it wasn't looking good for you at all. So with that being said, man, you blessed. You blessed right now, man, because boy, you could have got railroaded that way.
And the video reflects that after defendant Bennett stopped his vehicle, co-defendants Boyd and the decedent Adams opened the door to the car and began firing assault rifles at Kevin Wright, Nathan Bedford, and others that were on the street at the time. The video shows Nathan Bedford and Kevin Wright and others shooting back at the vehicle. During the exchange of gunfire, the decedent James Adams sustained a gunshot wound to his torso that caused his death. After shots were fired, defendant Bennett drove off in the Maybach, which then turned onto People Street. The individuals in the vehicle attempted to.
It's still fucked up, man. Like I said, man, I'm holding everybody accountable, man. Even you, Luch. Because if you did this shit, man, you a fucked up ass nigga. If you did this shit, you a fucked up ass nigga. Right? And if you did this shit, if you if you did this, man, you fucked up. You gonna have to live with that at night, though. You got to take that up with God, bro. It ain't for me to judge you. It ain't for me to do none of that, man. But if you did that, you gotta take that up with God, bro. You know what I mean? If somebody lost their life, you still got yours, but somebody lost their life at the end of this. And I still said, man, everybody got to be held accountable for the things that they do. And that's including you. I don't care how many records you sell. I don't care how many goddamn platinum plaques you have. You out there killing people, man, and doing things of that nature, man. You deserve what you get. Point blank. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Good rapper or not. I don't care if you know how to put words together. You know? It is what it is, man. It's the principles of this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but like I said, I still don't know how you got off this one, Luke. I still don't, man.
To pull decedent Adams' body back into the vehicle, but were unsuccessful. After, as a result, they left his body on People Street and left the scene.
So they homeboy that got shot in the shootout. Allegedly, Lucci pulled up on one of these roads in Atlanta. They get to dumping on somebody who was standing outside. The people standing outside dump back at Lucci. They dump back at the Maybach and the truck that Lucci was driving in. And Lucci homeboy got hit inside the car. They drove off and dumped the boy body off and drove off. Allegedly. It's fucked up shit, man. Wow.
After leaving the scene, he drove the vehicle to his father's house to conceal the vehicle following the shooting. The facts and evidence would further establish that defendant Bennett is an associate of the Bloods, a criminal street gang operating here in Atlanta and elsewhere. Defendant Bennett demonstrated his association in part by appearing in rap videos with members of the Bloods while displaying gang signs and wearing gang colors. The basis of the state's reduction, Judge, is essentially this defendant has no criminal history. We have spoken with the family in this particular case, and they have maintained throughout the course since this incident occurred that they are on board with the recommendation. They are more than amenable to the defendant's request at this point. And they have also, as you are aware from the facts, is the defendant's level of culpability in this particular incident. He was the driver of the vehicle, and he didn't have a weapon during the time of this incident. And this is out of the 80-something counts in the indictment, Judge, this is the one incident that this particular defendant is a part of. So given those things, we did take that into consideration, and that's the recommendation that we are presenting before.
So out of all that, this is what they got him for. They got him for, he was the driver. He didn't have a weapon, but he was the driver. But that's just as good as him doing the shit, man. You feel me? That's just as well as him doing the shit, man. Being the driver, man, you put everything in play. You the money man. You the man with the money, right? You the man with the money. You the guy. They do what you say. And in this situation, man, if all of this is true, man, that mean your actions, Lucci, got your homeboy killed. Things we do, man. You know, it's things that you do, man. You got to be held accountable for that. So if this is all true, there your homeboy blood is on your hands. That's on you. That's on you. That's on you. You got to sleep with that. You got to fight them demons on that. You got to relive those dreams on that shit, man. You know what I mean? Telling you guys, man, it's not worth it, man. Living this gangster life, man. Going out there, man. You want to go do your ops in. You doing all this shit, man. I'm telling you guys, man. Y'all young men out there, man. This is a very teachable moment. This is a very teachable moment. Cause when you facing all that time, man, I'm telling you, it's different behind them walls. It's a whole nother life being locked up. Just letting your guys know, man. Y'all need to think about that, man. When y'all out here doing some of the things that you're doing, man. It's a different world out there. It's a different world.
For the court.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Christian. Mr. Findling or Mr. Banks, would you like to tell me anything about your client and share anything about the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, as you've heard, Mr. Bennett is 32 years old. And of course, we've been to you through the course of the years. We've been together on this case with Your Honor for years. He is the father of 4 children. He assumes the task, the welcome task of being their sole provider, and he takes that seriously. It's well documented what his profession is.
Hell, I ain't know he had 4 kids though.
I want to be clear with the court that we just didn't talk to Mr. Bennett and just take his words on these things. We've talked to literally corporate executives in California about him. We've listened to his music. You know, we've been talking to these jurors about listening to rap and hip hop, and we have spent countless hours watching videos and listening to his music, trying to see the connection it has to the case. We've employed the best experts in America on that issue, on the lyrics issue. We've employed the best experts in America on the gang issue. But most importantly, for purposes of our conversation today, and not too dissimilar from really what was presented to you by Ms. Christian, I actually appreciate her explanation of December 10th. And I would ask the court, December 10th, 2020, to really harken back to some of those hearings. I think that the court will notice that Ms. Christian's explanation of it is very different than the state's explanation 3 years ago before she was on the case. And I credit her with the accuracy of that description. I will tell the court, as we've shared with counsel, we hired literally the best civil engineers in America to analyze what transpired on December 10th. And I think it is fair to say from that, number one, not only is it impossible to, with 100% certainty, say who initiated shooting, but I think it's fair to say that the argument can be made by professionals that these other people actually initiated the shooting based on expert testimony. But what's critical about that and what has transpired, and we've been very open with the court, and the state has acknowledged, and that is the other folks that were involved, some of the names, I'm not going to besmirch their reputations, as the court has heard, now have literally open murder cases going to trial. One of them had been charged with criminal attempt to commit murder. These were these other folks. And so there was a lot going on in that particular area at the time. And these are all the things that contextualize why this plea came to fruition at this time. We have really gotten to know our client's family. The court will note that his family has literally sat in that back row, dedicated to him, paying attention, being courteous to the court, being respectful to the court, but being here in support of Mr. Bennett. And I think that's what the court can expect with him moving forward. There have even been people that are involved in the music world that in like fashion have literally been here sitting in the back, being courteous, paying attention to these folks, to what has transpired here. Your Honor, given the fact that he is 32 years old, given the fact that, as Ms. Christian accurately said, he comes here with no criminal record. I know it's in the discretion of the court for me to ask for a first offender, but let me give you the logistics behind it. I know others have asked, but they've had a bunch of offenses for which they've entered guilty pleas to. Mr. Bennett comes to Your Honor, out of the 13 counts, 12 of them will be null pros. He is going to enter a plea to one of them with the court's permission. I philosophically had the honor of my first assignment was to be assigned to Judge Daniels Courtman, who wrote the book on criminal law, the original book that we all look at. And he used to say, when I was a public defender, he used to stare at people and go, "It's my honor to give you first offender because everybody deserves a chance to get on the other side. Of course, if you commit any faux pas during that period of time, you will pay the price dearly."
So basically, you know what I mean. This dude, Drew Finley, is a good ass lawyer, man. You got to give credit where credit's due, man. Let's give him that. Damn Drew Finley is a hell of a lawyer, man, and I love the way he is showing compassion for Lucci too, man. Not just being his lawyer, but it really seems like he's there for the good to really get him out, man. Not just there to get a check from Lucci, but he's really invested in trying to help Lucci, man, in this case, and you can really see it, man. So we applaud that, man. We applaud that. Yeah. Yeah, Drew Finley, man. He's a damn good lawyer, I see.
First offender is the proverbial sword of Damocles, and it will hang over Mr. Bennett's head for a long time. What's interesting about this offense, this plea, excuse me, is that there really will take 2 decades for first offender to ultimately inure to the benefit of Mr. Bennett. And so I think that it kind of serves kind of a double purpose. One, it incentivizes him, but 2, it's just not that sword of Damocles that's there for a 3-year theft by receiving probation, but something that he will have to live with because his probation, as the court is well aware, his probation literally does not kick in for approximately 7 years. And so then he's got to go 7 years and then get the other part of that probation for first offender to kick in. I want the court to know that we, his lawyers, have made sure he understands that first offender can be problematic. We went over the negative and positive consequences of that. Now, as with any other profession, a first offender gives you the chance professionally, and it is important in his line of work. Hopefully one day he'll be freer to travel, to try to get back to where he not only was, but really a whole nother level. And first offender would give him the ability to travel in places, quite frankly, but for getting first offender, he may never get the chance to.
So getting that first offenders, right? That's very a big plus for Lucci, because Lucci, like his lawyer is breaking down, you know, everybody is entitled to that first offense, right? Right. Everybody is entitled to that. So even Lucci, you know what I mean? And he's trying to get back into society. He's trying to be a model citizen. He's trying to get back to his kids. He's trying to provide for his kids. And in the future, when everything is over, you know, everything he doing probation, going by the rules and the stipulations, you know what I mean? He can get back out there and go to these different cities and things of that nature, like a first offender. His lawyer is really a damn good lawyer, man. Like I said, man, let's get man. This man, Drew Finley, is every bit of what everybody be talking about, man. I see why everybody like Drew. I really do. I really do. Drew Finley, yeah, he's a damn good attorney, man.
Travel, as the court knows, with felony conviction, international travel becomes extremely difficult. And maybe it will take 10 years for him to go to those places. But that would be, that would be very, very important for him moving forward to be able to go to different venues he would not necessarily be able to travel to contractually have relationships with morality clauses he might not able to otherwise be able to contract to. There's just a plethora of reasons it would be important. I also, Your Honor, want to say that I think that this process has really served a purpose. This case is unique. It's a RICO case where his charges were 13 in number, but I know ultimately had 11 people in the case, and cases like this are not the normal single defendant, single count case. Unfortunately, with the complexity of a case that can last as long as three months, it takes a while for all parties, and I include our colleagues from the state, to get to the point where a resolution makes sense. And so this is really not a statement on Mr. Bennett that we're taking this, in this third week of jury selection, but really the process. And as I said in my opening remarks, this court has encouraged, I know, you have your phrase of knee to knee, but you have encouraged us to remain in conversation while never saying specifically about this issue. It's been about all the other issues in the case, and all parties have taken that seriously. I think, as I said to you yesterday, if the parties look red-eyed, it's because other than the legal work we've been doing, we've been literally talking with one another to all hours, in person, on the phone, trying to bring a resolution. With all that being said, I think that Mr. Bennett truly appreciates where he is right now, and would very much, on his behalf, we'd ask that the court accept the plea as negotiated between the parties, and we're available for any questions from the court.
All right, thank you, Mr. Finling. Mr. Banks, do you wish to go on the record as well?
Judge, I would just simply say that these are very difficult cases. Having been the former director of the gang unit in this office, there are always challenges when you try these type of cases with these multi-defendant cases involving gang charges. Mr. Finley has really adequately described what has occurred between the negotiations of the parties. This was going to be a hard-fought battle, and the state knows that. We knew that, and as a result of that, Judge, I do believe that we were able to have those kneecap-to-kneecap meetings and come to this resolution. I do think it's appropriate. This is not a slap on the wrist by no means, because of the hard-fought battle that was going to be fought. Having said that, he's here. He's ready to accept responsibility. And I would submit, Judge, that you should accept the parties' negotiated recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. What's the state's position on the first offender request?
Thank you, Judge. We, as the court knows, we've had several negotiations. This has been a point of discussion, and we were aware that this would be a request, and not just on my behalf, but after speaking even with the DA regarding this particular issue, Your Honor, the state objects to first offender.
All right, thank you, Ms. Christian. All right, Mr. Bennett, based on the presentation of Ms. Christian, the Assistant District Attorney, I find that there's an adequate factual basis for the charges against you. More importantly, based on your responses to her questions, I find you're entering your plea in this case knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily. At this time, before sentence is imposed, you're free to make a statement, but only if you wish to do so. Would you like to make a statement at this time?
Yes.
All right.
First off, I want to say my heart goes out to my friend James Adam and his family. Also, I want to apologize to my family and my friends for putting them through this stressful process. And I would also like to apologize to the court. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
And like I, and like I said, we gotta be held accountable. You put a lot of people in stress, man. And like I said at the beginning or in the middle of what I was trying to let you guys know, that you gotta be held accountable for your actions, right? Right? Because if he done what they said he done, that means his homeboy blood is on his hands. That's your blood. You got to be held accountable for that. You know, we got to do better. We got to do better, Luch, man. This is a bad situation on both ends, man. People lost their lives. People that's not coming back. People are dead. A lot of families involved, man. It's a sad case, man. But for what? Over what? At the end of the day, what you stand on, right? What did it prove, Luch? What did it prove, man? It didn't prove nothing. You still Bennett. That's your name, man. It didn't prove nothing to us. I don't look at you as no bigger gangster than I looked at you before. That don't mean nothing, bro. We gotta do better, man. This shit here, we gotta do better. We gotta do better.
Mr. Bennett. Let me just confirm with the state that the only pending charge in this recommendation is count 69.
Yes, Judge.
And what is that charge?
Violation of the Street Gang Act.
All right. For count 69, Mr. Bennett, violation of the Street Gang Act, your sentence is 20 years to serve 10 years with the balance on probation. All other counts will be null prost. There are several conditions to this plea agreement. There are special conditions and conditions on the state. The special conditions are that you're to engage in no criminal street gang activity. You're to have no contact with criminal street gang members or associates. You're to have no contact with your co-defendants, Derek Adams, Rondavius Hawkins, Rayvon Boyd, Leroy Pitts, Artez Carter, Malik Stanley, Reginald Carter, DeMonte Thomas, Tidrikas Glass, Justin Ushery, and Victor Meadows. You're to have no guns or replicas of guns. You're to participate in no gang affiliation and or conduct associated with gangs on social media. You must be gainfully employed. And for purposes of the definition of employment, since you are an entertainer, self-employment would come under the context of employment. You're to have no violation of any state or federal law while serving on any portion of this sentence, including any period of incarceration. You're to comply with all rules maintained by the county jail where you are to be housed prior to being transported to a facility within the Department of Corrections where you will be designated to serve out this sentence. You're to comply with all rules maintained within any facility of the Department of Corrections where you will be designated to serve out this sentence. You will waive your right to appeal any and all terms and conditions of this plea agreement and the sentence imposed, as well as any right that you possess in connection with OCGA section 24-4-410. I'd like to ask both Mr. Findling and Mr. Banks if this term is agreed to by counsel as well.
It is, Judge.
All right. If you violate any term or condition of this agreement, including the special conditions, the state will be free to revoke this sentence and recommend any penalty allowed under the law, including but not limited to the maximum sentence provided by law. As a condition of this sentence, the state has also agreed, and I believe this is the first time I've ever seen this, the state has agreed to write a letter to the Board of Pardons and Parole stating that the state will not object to you being released from the Department of Corrections the first time that you become eligible for parole, or after serving 1/3 of your prison sentence, whichever comes first, if you comply with the following conditions. You're to comply with the lawful authority of any and all law enforcement. you are to have no further incidents from the date of this plea in any penal institution. You are to receive credit, and I don't do the credit from time served, but what I will acknowledge is you have been incarcerated since January 13th of 2021 to the present. Is that correct, Ms. Christian?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Finley and Mr. Banks, do you agree with that date, with those dates?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Have I adequately detailed the recommendation, Ms. Christian?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Finley?
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to ask just one.
There you have it, you guys. There you have it. There you have it, man. There you have it. There you have it. There we had to get an applause for that, man. Like I said, man, thank you guys for rocking out with me, man. It's been awesome. It's been awesome giving you guys some great entertainment today. And like I said, I am the host, Mr. Show Out TV. This is Coming Since Not Coming Live, where we talk about trending topics, trending everything in entertainment, sports, news, entertainment, right? Right? I hope you guys enjoyed this because I know I surely did. I surely did. And make sure you guys let me know what y'all think about this in the comment box. You know, a lot of people got mixed emotions about this, right? It's a lot of mixed emotions about this. A lot of people have they mixed emotions about it. You know what I mean? But like I said, one thing about it, man, Lucci did his time. His lawyers did what they were supposed to do. And it looks like Lucci is coming home. You know what I mean? So they drop a bomb for Lucci. Lucci is coming home. Yeah. Lucci is coming home, man. Like I said, man. But Lucci, everybody got to be held accountable for their actions. I hope this is a teachable moment out there for a lot of people. I hope this is a teachable moment out there for all the young men out there that is still trying to live that street life, man. They're still trying to pull up on their yachts. They're still trying to spin the block, man. It's not worth it at the end of the day. You putting your family, like he said, he just want to say he's sorry to his family, his friends, the people who, I mean, his homeboy that lost his life, man. Really, man. Because if some of this shit is true, man, some of that blood is on you, Luch. You got to sleep with that. You got to answer to God to that. That's what you got to deal with. You got to fight those demons, man. You got to relive that shit over and over in your head, bro. And I hope that you also get some counseling for that, because that can really take a person down there too. Lucci, I'm rooting for you. You my boy. 650 Luch, 650 Luch, 650 Luch. Yeah. Lucci back out on the scene, man. Lucci back out on the scene, man. Thank you guys for rocking out with me. Like I said, man, this has been an awesome show. Thank you, everyone, that tuned in and tapped in with me. I want to give a shout out to my brainiacs, man. Y'all continue to do y'all thing. We're going to continue to use our head and use our common sense over here on Common Sense Not Coming Live. Shout out to my congregation, everybody that continue to rock out with me each and every time I go live. Continue to smash that subscribe button and that like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel on your way out. It's Common Sense Not Coming Live. It's Mr. Show Out TV. See you guys on the next one. Yeah.